Hello everyone. Today we are going to start with human reproduction. Now human reproduction, first of all we will do male reproductive system. Now in male reproductive system it consists of a pair of testes, accessory ducts, glands and external genitalia. A pair of testes it is present outside the abdomen in the scrotum. The scrotum it helps to maintain the lower temperature around 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius temperature lower as compared to the internal body temperature. The size of the testes it is around 4 to 5 centimeter in length and 2 to 3 centimeter in width. The testes it is divided into compartments. There is present around 250 compartments in the testes. Now you can look at here. These are the compartments. So there is present 250 compartment. Now in each compartment there is present seminiferous tubules. Now, there is present 1 to 3 coiled structured seminiferous tubules. They are present in the testicular lobules. These seminiferous tubules, this is the cross section of seminiferous tubules. The inner lining of the seminiferous tubules, it is having the germ cells. These germ cells they are known as spermatogonia. These spermatogonia they undergo meiotic division and they form the sperm. The sperm it is also known as spermatozoa. So this sperm it is present in the seminiferous tubules. Now these seminiferous tubules they open into the rete testis. Now this is the duct. The sperms they are released in the rete testis. From the rete testis they go into the vasa efferentia, and from the vasa efferentia it goes to the epididymis. Now this epididymis it runs posteriorly and it opens into the vas deferens. The vas deferens it moves over the urinary bladder and it receives the duct from the gland seminal vesicle. Now it opens as ejaculatory duct and it also receives the secretion of prostate. Now there is present 3 glands in case of male reproductive system, and these are seminal vesicle, prostate gland and bulbourethral gland. The secretion of these 3 glands it is known as seminal plasma. And in the seminal plasma there is present fructose, calcium and certain enzymes. Now the sperm plus seminal plasma they constitute semen. The process of spermatogenesis it starts at the age of puberty due to significant increase in the concentration of gonadotropin releasing hormone from the hypothalamus. Now this gonadotropin releasing hormone it acts on the anterior pituitary gland and it stimulates the secretions of 2 gonadotropin, that is luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. The luteinizing hormone it stimulates the Leydig cells to synthesize and secrete androgens. Now these androgens they stimulate the process of spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means the formation of spermatozoa from spermatogonia. The follicle stimulating hormones they act on the Sertoli cells. Now these Sertoli cells they stimulate the secretion of the factors, and these factors they carry out the process of spermiogenesis. The spermiogenesis it is the transformation of spermatids into the spermatozoa. Now once again have a look at the seminiferous tubules. The seminiferous tubules its inner lining it is having the germ cells known as spermatogonia. Now these spermatogonia they undergo meiotic division and they form 2 primary spermatocytes. The primary spermatocytes again they undergo second meiotic division and they form these 4 cells. These cells they are known as spermatids. Now these spermatids they undergo differentiation and they get transformed into spermatozoa. Now these are the spermatozoa. Now in the seminiferous tubules there is also present one more type of cells. Now these cells they are known as Sertoli cells. The function of the Sertoli cell is to provide the nutrition to the germ cells, and when these spermatozoa spermatozoa, they are formed. The head of the spermatozoa, it get embedded in the Sertoli cells, and they provide the nutrition to the spermatozoa. Now, these spermatozoa, they are released from the seminiferous tubule, and the process of the release of spermatozoa from the seminiferous tubules, it is known as spermiation. Now, there is three terms. These three terms, they are spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis means the formation of male gamete, that is spermatozoa, from the spermatogonia. The second term, it is spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis, it is a transformation of spermatids into spermatozoa. The third important term, it is spermiation. Spermiation, it is the release of spermatozoa from the seminiferous tubules. Now we will do the structure of sperm, that is spermatozoa. The structure of the spermatozoa, it is divisible into four parts: head, neck, middle piece, and the tail. The whole structure of the spermatozoa, it is bounded by plasma membrane. Now, in the head, there is present the oval-shaped nucleus, and at its tip there is present a cap-like structure. This cap-like structure, it is known as acrosome. Now, in the acrosome, there is present certain enzymes which help in the process of the fertilization. Now, this is the neck. In the neck, there is present two centriole, proximal centriole and distal centriole. From the distal centriole arises the axial filaments. Now, this is the middle piece. Now, in the middle piece, there is present a number of mitochondria, and these mitochondria, they provide the energy for the movement of the sperm tail. Now, at least 60% of the sperm must have the normal size and shape, and at least 40% of the sperm must show the motility for normal fertilization. Now we start with the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system, it consists of a pair of ovary, a pair of fallopian tube. The fallopian tube, it is also known as oviduct, uterus, cervix, and vagina. These parts, along with the mammary glands, they form the structural and functional unit to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth, and childcare. Ovaries, they are the primary sex organ. Primary sex organ are the organs which forms the gamete, and they also form the hormones. Now, in case of males, the primary sex organ, it is the testis, and in case of females, the primary sex organ, it is the ovary. The size of the ovary, it is oval, and it is around 2 to 4 centimeter in length, and it is connected to the pelvic wall and the uterus by the ligament. Now, each ovary, it is covered by a thin epithelium which encloses a ovarian stroma. The stroma, it is divisible into two zones. The peripheral zone, it is known as cortex, and the inner zone, now this one is the cortex, and the inner zone, it is known as medulla. Now, this is the cross section of the ovary. A pair of fallopian tube or the oviduct, uterus, and the vagina, they constitute the accessory duct. Each fallopian tube, it is around 10 to 12 centimeter in length, and it is made up of three parts. This is the first part, it is known as infundibulum, and it lies close to the ovary. Now, here we can see these are the finger-like projections of the infundibulum. They are known as fimbriae. Now, these fimbriae, they receive the ovum released during the process of ovulation. Now, the first part, it is known as infundibulum. It is having the fimbriae, and it receives the ovum. The next part, it is known as ampulla, and the next part, it is known as isthmus. Now, this isthmus, it opens into the uterine cavity. The uterus, it is single and it is also known as womb. The shape of the uterus, it is like the inverted pear and it is supported by the ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. The uterus, it opens into the cervix and into the vagina. The cervical canal and the vagina, they form the birth canal. The wall of the uterus, it is made up of three layers. The outermost layer, it is peritoneum, it is external thin membranous layer. Next to it is present the smooth muscles. The smooth muscles, they form the myometrium, and the innermost layer, it is known as endometrium. Endometrium, it is the glandular layer. This myometrium, it is made up of smooth muscles and it undergoes strong contraction during the childbirth. And the endometrium, it undergoes the cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle. The process of oogenesis, it is the formation of female gametes from oogonium in case of females. The process of oogenesis, it is different from spermatogenesis in males. The process of spermatogenesis in males, it starts at the age of puberty, but the process of oogenesis in females, it starts in the early embryonic developmental stages. And after birth, no more oogonia, they are added. During the fetal life, these oogonia, by the process of mitosis, they increase their number. Now these oogonia which undergo meiosis, they are known as primary oocyte. The number of the chromosome, it is 46. Now the primary oocyte, it is that oogonia in which the process of meiosis, it starts. The process of meiosis, it starts during the fetal life. Now when the process of meiosis, it starts, but it got arrested during the prophase of meiosis 1. Now at the time of the childbirth, in the ovary, the primary oocytes, they are present in the first meiotic division. The first meiotic division, it is arrested. Now from the period between the birth to the puberty, there is no change in the primary oocyte. Now at the age of the puberty, one of the primary follicle, now here is the structure of the primary follicle. In the primary follicle, there is present this structure, that is primary oocyte, it is present, and around the primary oocyte there is present the granulosa cell. Now this primary follicle, maturation of the primary follicle, it starts. Now during the maturation of the primary follicle, the granulosa cells, their number, it increases and there is formation of theca layer. Now there is two layers of theca interna and theca externa. Now this primary follicle, it got mature and it changes from primary follicle to secondary follicle, and from the secondary follicle to the tertiary follicle. Now in the tertiary follicle, now here in the primary follicle there is present the primary oocyte, and in the tertiary follicles, this primary oocytes, which is in the prophase of meiosis 1, its first meiotic division, it is completed, and the first meiotic division, it is completed, and there is formation of these two cells, secondary oocyte and the first polar body. This is secondary oocyte. This structure, it is present in the tertiary follicle. Now here is present the secondary oocyte. Around the secondary oocyte there is present granulosa cell, and this is a fluid filled cavity, it is known as antrum. So this is the structure of the tertiary follicle. Now this tertiary follicle, later on it changes into the fully mature structure. This fully mature structure, it is known as Graafian follicle. And look here, the size of the antrum, it increases. Now this Graafian follicle, it releases the ovum. Now this ovum, actually it is the secondary oocyte. Now once again look at the process of the oogenesis. The oogonia which undergo meiosis, it is known as primary oocyte. It is having 46 chromosomes. Now this primary oocyte, its division it starts, but it got arrested at prophase 1 of meiosis 1, and this primary oocyte, it is present in the primary follicle. Now at the age of the puberty, when the maturation of primary follicle it starts, the suspended meiotic division it is completed and it got divided into two cells. One of the cell it is known as secondary oocyte, and the second one it is known as first polar body. The first polar body, it is having the 23 chromosome, and this structure it is also having the 23 chromosome. The whole of the cytoplasm it is present with the secondary oocyte. Now this secondary oocyte, it is present in the tertiary follicle, Griffin follicle, and this is secondary oocyte. This is the secondary oocyte which is released during the process of ovulation. It is also known as ovum. This is secondary oocyte is the structure in which the second meiotic division it will proceed on. The second meiotic division it starts, but it also got arrested at metaphase of meiosis 2. Now the suspended division or second meiotic division of secondary oocyte, it is completed just prior to the process of fertilization. Now when the secondary oocyte, its second meiotic division it is completed, it got divided into two cells. One is the second polar body and the other it is known as ovum. Now these two structures, the first polar body and the second polar body, these are just the haploid nucleus, and their function is to get rid of half the chromosome number. In the fetal ovary, there is present around 1 million oogonia, and no more oogonia it is added after birth. But till the girl child it reaches the age of the puberty, there is present around 60 to 80,000 of the primary follicle. The rest of the primary follicle, they got degenerated, and the degeneration of primary follicle it is known as follicular atresia. Now now we have done up to this Griffin follicle, that this Griffin follicle it releases the ovum, and actually this ovum it is the secondary oocyte. The process of release of the ovum it is known as ovulation. Now this structure, this remnant and the remaining part of the Griffin follicle, it changes into the structure known as corpus luteum. Luteum means which is yellowish in color. So this remaining part of the Griffin follicle, it got changed into corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum it goes on secreting the hormone, the ovarian hormone, that is progesterone, and this progesterone it maintains the endometrium of the uterus wall intact. Now we move on to the events during a menstrual cycle. The menstrual cycle in the female primates, that is in the monkey, apes and in the human being, it is known as menstrual cycle. The first menstruation begins at the age of puberty and it is known as menarche. In human females, menstruation it is repeated at an average interval of about 28 to 29 days, and the cycle of the event starting from the menstruation till the next one it is known as menstrual cycle. One ovum it is released. Now we look here, the one ovum it is released from the mature Griffin follicle every month from alternate ovary, sometimes from the left ovary and sometimes from the right ovary. The major events of the menstrual cycle, these are shown in this figure. The whole cycle it is divisible into the three phases: menstruation phase, follicular phase and the luteal phases. And in this figure we will study the changes in the endometrium of uterus ovarian hormone levels, the changes in the structure of the follicles and the pituitary hormones. We will study through this figure. The cycle starts with menstrual phase. When the menstrual flows, it occurs and it lasts for 3 to 5 days. The menstrual flow, it results in the breakdown of the endometrium of the uterus. Menstruation only occur if the released ovum it is not fertilized. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy, but sometimes due to stress and poor health, the menstruation do not occur. The menstrual phase, it is followed by the follicular phase. Now during this phase, the primary follicle, it get mature. Now this structure it is known as primary follicle. Here is the primary follicle. It get mature and it changes into the Graafian follicle. These changes in the ovary and the uterus lining, it also become thickened due to increase in the thickness of the endometrium. Now these changes in the follicles and in the thickness of the uterus lining, it is under the influence of two hormones from the pituitary gland. Now these two hormones, they are known as luteinizing hormone and the follicle stimulating hormone. Now this follicle stimulating hormone, it causes the maturation of primary follicle to the Graafian follicle. Now this Graafian follicle, it also releases another hormone. Now the hormone which is released from the Graafian follicle, it is known as ovarian hormone, and this hormone, it is estrogen. Now this estrogen, it causes the increase in the thickness of the uterus lining, that is increase in the endometrium. Now during the middle of the month, on the 14th day, we can see that there is increase in the concentration of luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Now this when there is increase in the concentration of luteinizing hormone in the body, it is known as LH surge, and this LH surge, it induces the release of the ovum, and the release of the ovum, it is known as ovulation. After ovulation, the Graafian follicle, as we have seen in this figure, the Graafian follicle, after the release of ovum, it changes into the corpus luteum. So we can see here that after ovulation, the corpus luteum, this Graafian follicle, it changes into the corpus luteum, and this corpus luteum, it releases another hormone. The name of this shown with the red line, the name of the hormone, it is progesterone, and progesterone, it also increases the thickening of the inner lining of the uterus, that is endometrium. The endometrium, it is necessary for implantation of fertilized ovum and other events of the pregnancy. During pregnancy, all the events of the menstrual cycle stop and there is no menstruation. In the absence of fertilization, corpus luteum, it degenerates. This causes the disintegration or the breakdown of endometrium, marking the start of a new menstrual cycle. In human beings, the menstrual cycle ceases around 50 years of age, and this is known as menopause. Cyclic menstruation is an indicator of normal reproductive phase and extent between menarche and menopause. Now immediately after the formation, after the implantation, the inner cell mass differentiate into the three layers. These three layers are the outermost, it is ectoderm, the middle one it is known as mesoderm, and the innermost it is known as endoderm. Now these are the three layers of the embryo, and the whole body, the different organs and the tissues, they arises from these three layers. Now these are the major features of embryonic development. Now after 1 month, the embryonic heart it is formed. After second month, the fetus develops limbs and the digits. After third month, the major organ system they are formed. And after fifth month, the first movement of the fetus and appearance, or there is appearance of the hair on the head. At the end of the sixth month, the body it is covered by a fine hair, eyelids separate, and the eyelashes they are formed. Now one thing it is left that these inner cell mass when it differentiate into ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm, there is present the stem cells. Now these stem cells they are having the potential to give rise to any tissue or the organs of the body. Now next we start with the next process, that is parturition and lactation. The duration of the human pregnancy, it is 9 months, and this period it is known as gestation period. The process of childbirth, it is known as parturition, and it is induced by complex endocrine mechanism. Parturition, it originates from the fully developed fetus and the placenta, which induces the mild uterine contraction, and this is known as fetal ejection reflex. This triggers the release of the oxytocin from the maternal pituitary. Oxytocin it acts on the uterine, that is the myometrium, and it causes the uterine contraction. And oxytocin secretion continue, resulting in the stronger and stronger contraction. This leads to the expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal, and this process it is known as parturition. Soon after the infant it is delivered, the placenta it is also expelled out of the uterus. The mammary gland of the female undergo differentiation during the pregnancy, and it starts producing milk during the end of the pregnancy by the process known as lactation. This helps the mother in feeding the newborn. The milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is called colostrum, which contains several antibodies, absolutely necessary to develop a resistance for the newborn babies. Breastfeeding during the initial period of infant growth is recommended by the doctors for bringing up of a healthy baby.